Ciara, hello, and welcome to Anyway, the podcast where I unpack the chaos of reality TV. I am your host, Natalie McMurray, coming to you from Aotearoa, New Zealand. Today, we're diving into the first part of the Summer House reunion. Brace yourself, motherfuckers. We open in a testimonial setting for In the City. Lindsay is talking to the producer when there's a knock, knock, knock on the door. Kyle then enters. Cue Lindsay doing a dramatic reading of the joint statement. Lindsay says, none of this makes sense. This is not what happened. And I'd love to know what had happened then, Lindsay. A little while after, Jesse and Mia call. They're talking about how fucked up the situation is. And Kyle tells us how close he was with West, which I really had no idea about. He said he went to West's parents' ranch, and apparently they went to Toronto together. Who knows why? Kyle's a mess, as we've all found out. He's sick. Apparently, Kyle had already clocked it. He says, you don't touch women that are married like that. Jesse chimes in saying, you also don't fuck your friend's wife of 10 years. Once again, Lindsay Hubbard's face says more than we could ever with words. They're all now discussing how Ciara is. And Mia says she's in California, but she wants to catch a red eye so she can come and check on her. Now, that's a friend. Mia is the friend every good woman deserves. Lindsay wants answers. She wants to know, when did this start? Period. Amanda told Kyle that it's been going on for a month, but he's been told that there are blinds going back to June 2025, which sounds correct. The familiarity between them over the season is evident. What will Amanda and Wes say to recover? I guess we're about to find out. We see a whole bunch of people arriving at the reunion, and then Amanda and Wes separately. Cut to KJ, Ben, and Kyle talking. KJ says he was supposed to go to the baseball game. Baseball game? Again, I can't remember whether it was baseball or not. Sports, you know? Kyle asks why he didn't go, and KJ says, because we aren't friends anymore? Hello? KJ says which hurts because he was like a brother to him. West arrives in his and Amanda's dressing room. They both seem giddy, to be honest. I'm definitely not getting any remorseful vibes. But I guess we already knew we wouldn't. We see Kyle arrive and then finally Ciara. Apparently West is zen. God willing, someone at this reunion will take that feeling away from him. Andy is checking in with Ciara. He asks how she is. She says, I've had better days, which is like, no shit. Ciara says she feels more betrayed and hurt by Amanda, of course. She says she wants to know why. Just why. Jesse is talking to Kyle and Ben about West's dick pic, which even the thought of makes me want to vomit. Kyle wants to know how much you have to spread your shit around for it to be sent to him. West is a fame whore. We all know that. Andy asks how West and Amanda are feeling about seeing Ciara. Amanda says she feels guilty, and that's her friend. And I just want to say, she's not your friend anymore, bitch. You better start that recruitment process. We see Ciara, Kyle, and Mia talking. Kyle talks about how much he was bottoming out, and Ciara starts getting emotional. She apologizes to Kyle. She says, I feel like I really misunderstood you this summer. Hindsight is 2020. We all can't see everything, especially when some of the people around you are sneaky little fuckheads. Been there. 7 minutes in, and I'm already finding it hard to contain my rage. Ciara and Kyle are making promises to each other. They're not going to get mad or storm off. Kyle isn't going to touch alcohol, and Ciara isn't going to cry. Andy says to West and Amanda, you two seem very calm. I would say unusually so, given the situation. I'll have whatever these two idiots are having. Thanks. Everyone starts heading to the stage. Kyle wants Bailey to know she looks great, by the way. Kyle tells us that his fly is up. He's celebrating the small wins today. Lindsay comes out, and Andy is all wow, wow, wee, wah. He wants to know why she's in a revenge dress. She says, I'm wearing it on behalf of Kyle. Amanda comes out, and everyone is awkward as fuck. West follows, and it gets even worse. Ciara comes out and sits next to Andy. Andy says, I feel like Jabba the Hutt and your Princess Leia. Andy, please do not bring the beloved Star Wars franchise into this. And if anybody is Jabba the Hutt on that stage, it's West. He's so sweaty and grabby. Amanda asks how West is, and he's not doing too well, which is great. He's apparently the last to know that his phone was quote unquote hacked and there's nudes circulating. Kyle made me lol by saying, yeah, we already heard about that this morning. Then Amanda says, so weird I never got any. Ew, Amanda. Fuck off. Your weird ass is seeing the real thing. They're talking about the hardness or softness, as it were, of his appendage. I already feel nauseous. This is not helping. Andy is sketched the fuck out. Jesse shows the piece to West, and Amanda is like peeping over his shoulder. What is this woman on? Honestly, so creepy. Kyle isn't used to not being the biggest problem in the room. He says it's weird, which says a lot about his past behavior. For now, Kyle is the least of anyone's concern, but lest we forget. The same thing happened with James Kennedy on season 10 and 11 of Vanderpump Rules. Then look what happened. Just saying. Andy asks how Amanda is, and she starts bumbling on about accountability and wanting to apologize to Ciara and Kyle. Ciara says, I'm glad you could at least say our names this time, referring to the joint statement, which did not. Amanda seems genuinely perplexed at Ciara's demeanor, almost like she was expecting everything to be normal. This bitch is on another planet. Andy basically says, West, you're notoriously bad at reunions. How do you think this will all go down? Apparently, according to him, there's a lot to be explained. Lindsay then does an epic eye roll. Andy asks Carl if he's still a mess. He confirms he is. I say, Carl is a hot mess. I'm not usually overly attracted to Carl, but I'm into the color he's wearing. He looks great. Ben is growing his hair out to look like a full-blown hobbit. Did anybody else get that? Andy asks when Ciara first suspected something was going on. She says January the 17th because she invited Amanda out to drinks and her location was at West's apartment. Amanda tries to interject, and Ciara shuts that shit down so fast. She says, I'm speaking. She also tells her to shut the fuck up. I'm living for it. Ciara says to her, how many times have I asked you to hang out and you've acted like your phone doesn't work? Apparently Amanda had an awakening, and now she's having a reckoning. Kyle is sticking up for Amanda, which is understandable, but also fucking annoying. Ciara points out that West isn't sticking up for her. Correct. The way that Amanda is rolling her eyes at her supposed friend is demonic behavior. And when she does that, I wish the wind would change and they would get stuck back there. West would like to teach us all a lesson and say that lying to people you care about is wrong. Fucking duh. Grow up. Ciara says you're a walking lie. Everything about you is a lie. She then brings up his girlfriend who made the horsehair tie. He says they weren't exclusive. Not like it matters. No woman matters to this man. Ciara calls Amanda a snake in the grass. She moves silent but deeply. Amanda is all, okay. Kyle says the joint statement was a terrible move and that they should have at least apologized to Ciara and Kyle in it. Amanda says, I did that privately. And Kyle rebuts with, then why even put out a statement? Good work, Kyle. Ciara pulls out her phone and Amanda's stomach drops into her asshole. Ciara is reading out a text of Amanda denying everything. And all the people want to know why the fuck they're still lying. Sorry, should I say, why the fuck Amanda is still lying? Because West isn't saying shit. Amanda accuses us, the public, of being psychos. Coming from you? Andy asks, who made the first move? West did. Apparently February was their first kiss. And they first slept together after the statement. The way that Amanda is so adamant that everything was PG before they released the statement tells me a different story. The lady doth protest too much, methinks. I find it very difficult to believe that two people who are keeping it PG would release a joint statement about their relationship. Also, I saw someone online rightly point out one of the reasons they released the statement when they did was because the video of them being intimate was circulating or had been shown to multiple people. Don't piss on our legs and tell us it's raining. Anyway, for the first time in his life, Kyle Cook doesn't want to talk about sex. He's like, can we focus, please? Ciara continues to read her text from Amanda. Amanda interrupts and says, I guess I should have just told you that I have feelings for someone I'm not supposed to have feelings for. Ciara says, at that point, you remove yourself. Amanda, like the spoiled little brat that she is, then whines, so I'm not allowed to pursue something that I feel strongly about? And Kyle says, but you said you were still trying to figure things out. Correct. You were just saying that you didn't have strong feelings at that point. Ciara says, clearly you're downplaying all of this shit. And Bailey says to Mia, West isn't saying anything. He's just like letting her get annihilated. That's right, Bailey, because his weak ass couldn't put together a coherent thought, even if he tried. Ciara tells Andy her intentions for the day. She's there to discuss the details of what's transpired and then put them in the ground and cover them with dirt. Andy says he's putting a pin in the Amanda and West of it all for now. They go to a break. Everyone is talking about how amazing Lindsay looks. Carl wants more Hug House. During the break, Levi enters the building. She's apparently here for the fun segment. This should be interesting. We're back from break, and Andy is talking about how amazing Ciara's costumes are. They show us the plague rat, which I had totally forgotten about, which is amazing. Also, Ciara's in one of the new Scary Movie ads featuring Karma Brown's tits, which is fucking hilarious. I've been a fan of the Wayans Brothers Scary Movie 1 and 2 since it came out, so I'm very excited to see the new one. The fact that they did a Summer House Scary Movie crossover, I'm obsessed. Kyle then talks about having cardboard cutout Lindsay give cardboard cutout Carl a hand job. West is laughing and looks on top of the world. Amanda, on the other hand, Amanda is in the pits of despair. Standard. Mia talks about her friendship with Ciara and how she can always depend on her, which is beautiful. She says she's on a journey trying to grieve her mum, and she lets us know that she and Scott broke up. She's looking to celebrate herself right now. We love that. Andy then talks about how Bailey said Ben wants to fuck Amanda at dinner. She said, I didn't say it out of jealousy. It was a joke. Again, a joke everybody was making. The reasoning Bailey gives is that she was being silly, and she had been in a plant costume for 3 hours. And now all I can think about is the people that were dressed as sugarcane plants at the Bad Bunny Super Bowl halftime show. Fans want to know if Ben has anger issues. Ben turns to Bailey as if she asked the question and basically says, we hadn't had one conversation the whole summer before that situation. Bailey isn't having it. She says, are you fucking joking? She then says, you like to reprimand women. That's your problem. Bailey basically says, you did it to me, you did it to Amanda, and you do it to Sabrina. Which is correct. That's the dad energy I've talked about in the past. Thank you, Bailey. Lindsay says, I think we've unlocked something. You're damn right we unlocked something, Lindsay. Something that smells oddly familiar. Something like toxic bullshit bred from a God-fearing asshole. Bailey says she thinks ultimately the reason why he got so mad is because him and Sabrina were together at that point. Yep, that's it. That's the one, Bailey. Andy points out, yet when Carl got angry later in the season, you were turned on. Which Ben grabs and runs with. He's all, yeah, what the fuck was that about? Bailey says, because he was mad at Kyle for cussing out his wife. Not screaming at a woman, you fucking jackass. I was already a fan of Bailey, but she just added points for me. Love it. Kyle talks about his relationship with Bailey and how he loves their friendship. Andy wants to know if Bailey took Lindsay's advice about sending Kyle a nude. She did not. Kyle says if she had sent him a nude, he could open up Hard Bar. A joke which he stole from Lindsay. Meanwhile, it looks like West is having an existential crisis with all this talk of nudes. You did that to yourself. Zero sympathy. A show of hands says that the people ship Bailey and Carl. Jesse says, sometimes it's good to be friends before you start dating. Amanda goes, that's crazy, implying that's what her and West did. Jesse says, sometimes. AKA, I'm not talking about you two demons. Andy then talks to KJ about Mia and Ciara being his sisters. They both give him tough love. And they don't love all the tattoos and piercings he's getting. KJ opens up about his mental health. He says he went to the hospital for self-harm and that Mia and Ciara were there for him every day. He says he went into recovery and is now medicated for BPD. I appreciate KJ's vulnerability. He says he's grateful to be alive and loves the support he's getting. Ciara then talks about her grandparents' house and how the renovation is going. She says she's handing over the reins to her mum, who's loving it. She also says her dad still doesn't understand why she bought it, because he doesn't see it as an investment property. But the sentimental value obviously outweighs that for Ciara. And he wants to know why Ciara ultimately let West back in. She says she doesn't want everyone to perceive her as having such a hard exterior. Kyle says it's been hardened, which is correct. And unfortunately, this experience has more than likely hardened her more. Andy talks about the infamous makeout in the last episode. And we say something about ear stuff, which really throws me the fuck off. And everyone else, apparently. What the hell is ear stuff? This man is such a fucking weirdo. Kyle wants to put his tinfoil cap on and speculate on whether West is intentionally manipulating everyone around him, including the audience. I'm here to say, you don't need a tinfoil cap for that, Kyle. It's not a conspiracy. It's facts. Ciara wants to know if everything is for a storyline. She says, you and Amanda seem like the best type of revenge for you. Ben tries to stick up for West, and I want to throw rotten tomatoes at him. Shut it, Ben. I couldn't agree more with Ciara. West has made his bed, and now he has to lie in it. With Amanda. Hope he's enjoying her mopey-ass energy while they holiday in Rome. The irony of them traveling, the day the reunion is, to a place which has an arena that was used for public executions. West seems to think he did nothing to indicate that he wanted to pursue a relationship with Ciara. Which Ciara says is bullshit. Because West told Ben that he had a crush on her. West told Ben that they were magical together. And if rumors are to be believed, him and Ciara were also very close, possibly hooking up in the fall and the winter. Lindsay wants West to know she's figured out exactly who he is. He's a clout chaser. He manipulates women who are in a higher position than him, so he can get himself higher, and then fucks them right off. Mic drop from Mother Hubbard. Meanwhile, Amanda is making all these weird facial expressions like, woe is her. Give it a rest, Amanda. Ciara says, I think this is going to work because the best woman for West is a weak-ass bitch who won't hold him accountable. And that's totally Amanda. Kyle says to Ciara, that was way harsh, Ty. In my mind, that's not harsh enough. Ciara says, that's your wife. That's not my wife. Oh, how I lolled. I saw someone on Threads posted a picture of Amanda and West in the Harry and Lloyd Dumb and Dumber tuxedos. And I just want to personally thank whoever created that because it actually made my day. Anyway, that's it for the first part of the reunion. 2 more to go. Thanks for listening. See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya.